Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about Ketu, the south node of the moon. And as I spoke about Rahu is the north node of the moon. Now Ketu is the south node of the moon, meaning that it is the juncture point where the moon crosses the path of the sun, which is called the ecliptic. So we have a point where the moon crosses the ecliptic going upward, which is the ascending node, which is the north node, Rahu. But when it crosses the ecliptic in a downward pattern, this is called the descending south node of the moon, which is Ketu. So I believe that Ketu is that quality that takes us out of this world. Rahu takes us in, and this is our life, but Ketu takes us out. Ketu has the quality of our spirituality, and wherever Ketu is in a chart, you're going to find that you feel a sense of something missing. There's an emptiness, there's a void. It's like it's sucked out, it's a drain. Therefore, you're constantly wanting to fill in wherever Ketu is in your chart. So depending on what house it's in, you feel this emptiness, but you're always trying to fill it. So therefore, there is a lot of activity wherever Ketu is because you just feel empty all the time, and you feel the need where you have to fill that emptiness to feel whole and complete, but you never do. So this is dependent on where Ketu is in a chart. Now Ketu represents loss. By and large, it can represent losses, and it can also represent our humility, being in touch with letting go of anything to do with this world, because it really does deal with death. And sometimes when transiting Ketu comes around to certain planets, it can represent the demise or death of that person in your life, such as transiting Ketu with the sun, the end or the loss of the father, or to the moon, the end or the loss of the mother. Not always, but it is reminiscent of this. So Ketu, as it is with different planets, will give such a different quality to the planet. In terms of if Ketu is conjunct the sun, then there's not a strong ego, or there's not a strong self-esteem. If it's with the moon, there's this emotions and depth to the person, to the mind, that thinks in terms of what's beyond this world. Because remember, Ketu can deal with what's beyond this world. It is really our spirituality. And in India, they look at Rahu as a malefic and Ketu as not, because Rahu brings us into this world in our attachments and material things, which takes us away from the most important aspect of what our life's about, and that is our spiritual growth. That is what Ketu will bring us in touch with, because as things are taken away from us in this world, then we are reminded of going within and connecting to the divine, and that which makes us feel whole and complete again. Because in this world, we never feel whole and complete because we are separate in these bodies. And our natural essence is to feel connected with everything and everyone. And that is unity. But as we're in these bodies, in this dimension, we are separate. And we never feel that sense of feeling whole and complete, which is our natural feeling and essence of our being. So Ketu puts us in touch with that which is a burning desire. They say Ketu is burning. And so where we feel like something is always missing, that aspect of what's always missing is that burning desire for what we don't understand. And what it really boils down to is our search for our divinity within. That's what Ketu makes us look for. So as things are taken away from us in this world, we're forced to go within. We pray, we connect, and that's how we feel whole and complete. That's the whole process of Ketu. So if Ketu is with Mercury, many times they say that a person is extremely intuitive and psychic, because remember, Ketu has the quality of otherworldliness. Ketu being with Venus can be this essence of not feeling are feeling this connection in love and romance, but there's a distance and a lacking there. Ketu being with Mars can be extreme anger or violence at times, and when they come together in the sky, they represent a time of terrorism. So this is a very difficult connection to have. Ketu with Jupiter can be spirituality in the deepest sense of the word. Ketu with Saturn can be searching for something that's truly missing, that feeling like you want to feel balanced and whole and complete, but there's something missing there. Ketu being with the outer planets will cause losses around what they represent on a worldly level, such as Ketu with Neptune, something about spirituality being lost. Ketu with Uranus, something to do with accidents, electricity, that there's violence around that. Earthquakes. Ketu with Pluto, major upheaval of a deep level, maybe with governments and control issues. So you see, Ketu is this essence of feeling something's missing. In the first house, you don't feel connected with the world. You feel like an alien. Ketu in the second house, you never feel like you have enough money, or there's something very difficult that happened in early childhood that gave a sense of insecurity. Ketu in the third house, never connecting to that brother or sister, that you feel like you always are missing that. Ketu in the fourth house, you never feel like you have enough of connection to the mother, to security, to home, always looking for that. Ketu in the fifth, overprotective parent, or the lack of children that you've always wanted, or maybe never wanted, but something is dysfunctional in that area, but a deep, deep thinker. Ketu in the sixth house, there can be some issues or problems around health matters. This may be looked into depending on the sign. Ketu in the seventh house, you never seem to get the love or connection in marriage and relationships with the spouse. So therefore, always trying to fill that emptiness and feel connected, always searching for the right partner. Ketu in the eighth, problems through money with others, how the money's shared, inheritances. Ketu in the ninth, the father's never around, the relationship, something's missing. Ketu in the 10th, never have a solid career, always changing the career, moving about. Never ever can you be confined to an office space or one place. Have to have movement and a change of career. Ketu in the 11th, there can be issues around the oldest sibling, or that there's friends or groups or people that you're disconnected with. Ketu in the 12th, you always feel like you want to connect to foreign places. Spirituality is very, very important to one with Ketu in the 12th. So Ketu, the gemstone, is the cat's eye, and just from what I said, I wouldn't want to bring these qualities of loss out, so I would avoid that gemstone. But its exaltation sign is Scorpio, and debilitation sign is Taurus. And it is strongest, I believe, in the 12th house. But, as I said before, don't put so much attention into these exaltation and debilitation sign. There is much controversy over whether or not the exaltation or debilitation works that well. So with that, I hope you have a better understanding of Ketu. And if you would like more information, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.